Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to hold on to a handful of sand, the faster it slips through your fingers? The same frustrating paradox applies to the people you love. You've been told that fighting for love is a virtue, but the psychological reality is often the opposite. Today, we are uncovering the law of reversed effort, a hidden principle that explains why your constant pursuit is the very thing pushing them away. If you've been feeling ignored, unappreciated, or like you're the only one putting in the work, this is the wake-up call you've been waiting for. We are going to explore exactly why stopping the chase is the only way to shift the power dynamic and force the universe to bring the right person to your door. This isn't just a coincidence. It's an energetic and psychological wall you've been building without realizing it. When you chase someone sending that extra text, checking their socials every 10 minutes, or rearranging your entire life just to be available for them, you aren't showing commitment. You are broadcasting a frequency of lack. In the U.S. dating landscape and modern psychology, this is known as the pursuer-distancer dynamic. By taking on the role of the pursuer, you automatically force the other person into the role of the distancer. You are essentially telling their subconscious mind that you don't believe you are worthy of being pursued. You are making yourself a hunter, and in human nature, no one wants to be caught by someone who seems desperate. Think about the last time a salesperson was too aggressive with you. Even if you liked the product, their desperation made you feel uneasy. It made you want to back away. The same thing happens in your personal relationships. When you chase, you create an immediate energy imbalance. You stop being the prize and start being the one who is begging for a seat at the table. This creates a psychological wall because humans are evolutionarily wired to value what is rare and difficult to obtain. By being too available and too eager, you accidentally lower your market value in their eyes. You become predictable, and predictability is the silent killer of attraction, not the law of reversed effort suggests that the more intensely we strive for a psychological state or a person's affection, the more elusive it becomes. It's like trying to fall asleep. The more you try to sleep, the more awake you stay. To get what you truly want, you have to stop wanting it with such frantic intensity. You must understand that your value isn't something you prove to someone else. It's something you embody. When you stop running, you stop the noise. You stop the pressure. And most importantly, you allow the other person the space to realize what they are missing by chasing. You are signaling to the universe that you are incomplete without this person. This is the ultimate trap of the ego. It convinces you that if you just try a little harder, if you send just one more thoughtful message, or if you show them how much you care one more time, they will finally see your worth. But worth is never proven through pursuit. It is demonstrated through self-possession. The moment you stop the chase, you reclaim your power. You transition from being a variable in their life to being a constant in your own. This isn't about playing games or using no contact as a manipulation tactic. It's about a fundamental shift in your internal identity. You are deciding that your time, your energy, and your peace are too valuable to be spent on someone who is running in the opposite direction. The second part of our journey into the law of awe. Reversed effort requires us to look at the spiritual and psychological mechanics behind why your kindness might actually be backfiring. This is what we call the karma of overgiving. In many modern relationships, we are taught that giving more is the solution to a fading connection. But when you give 100% of yourself to someone who is only giving 10% back, you aren't being a martyr. You are disrupting the natural karmic cycle of exchange. Think of it like a bank account. If you keep depositing into an account that has a massive leak, you aren't building a balance. You are just going bankrupt. This overinvestment creates a psychological debt that the other person can never repay. Instead of feeling loved, they feel suffocated. They feel a subconscious pressure to match an energy they aren't ready to give, and their natural instinct is to flee the debt by avoiding you entirely. This is where the detachment principle becomes your greatest secret weapon. Detachment is often misunderstood in the West as being cold or indifferent, but in reality, it is the highest form of self-respect. It is the realization that you can care for someone without needing to control their perception of you. When you detach, you stop being a variable that reacts to their every move. You stop checking if they saw your message. You stop wondering why they haven't liked your photo. You reclaim your energy and pull it back into your own center. This shift in focus does something incredible. It creates a vacuum. In physics and in spirituality, nature abhors a vacuum. When you suddenly stop, the noise and the constant pushing of your energy, a silent space opens up. It is in this silence that the other person finally has the room to feel the weight of your absence. The science of attraction thrives on mystery and autonomy. If you are always there, always chasing, and always available, there is no room for desire to grow. Desire requires distance. By detaching, you aren't just waiting. You are becoming a constant in your own life. You are moving from a state of, I hope they choose me, to a state of, I have already chosen myself. This is the psychological sweet spot. When you stop being the one who provides all the momentum, the other person is forced to stand on their own 2 feet. They finally have to decide if they want to move toward you. And if they don't, then karma has simply done its job by clearing a space for someone who actually matches your frequency. Overgiving is often a transactional bribe for love. We give because we hope to get. But karma doesn't reward transactions. It rewards alignment. When you give from a place of lack, you attract more lack. When you give because you are trying to fix a relationship, you are essentially telling the universe that the relationship is broken. By stepping back and entering a state of detachment, you are signaling that you are already whole. You are telling the world that your happiness is not a hostage to someone else's text message. This isn't a game of who cares less. It is a realization of who values themselves more. As you move through this phase of detachment, you will feel a strange sensation, a mix of anxiety and peace. The anxiety comes from the ego, which wants to jump back into the chase to feel in control. The peace comes from your soul, which knows that what is truly yours cannot be lost. This is the moment where you stop being the hunter and start being the magnet. A magnet doesn't run after metal. It simply exists in its own high vibration state, and the metal has no choice but to be drawn toward it. By reclaiming your energy, you are finally allowing the law of reversed effort to work in your favor. You are standing still long enough for your blessings to actually find you. The final pillar of this transformation is what we call emotional independence. This is the shift from a mindset of "I need you to survive" to "I am already complete, and you are a luxury." In the US, we often talk about main character energy, and that is exactly what this is. Picture a high-value individual who is so deeply invested in building their own kingdom, their career, their health, their friendships, and their peace that they don't even notice who is standing at the gate. This isn't a front or a mask. It is a profound internal reality. When you reach this state, your frequency change is undeniable. Karma doesn't just bring a person to you like a delivery service. It matches your new, elevated vibration with someone who is operating on that same level of self-respect. You aren't just sitting and waiting for a text. You are becoming the very person that your dream partner is currently searching for. To bridge the gap between the spiritual theory and your daily life, you need power moves that rewire your brain. The first is the 24-hour silence rule. If you feel a frantic urge to reach out or check up on someone, wait exactly 24 hours before acting. Usually within that window, the chase impulse fades and your dignity returns. The second is the pivot method. Every single time your mind wanders to them and what they are doing, you must immediately pivot to one productive task for yourself. Read 5 pages of a book, do 20 push-ups, or organize one drawer. This breaks the dopamine loop of the chase and forces that energy back into your own growth. You are literally training your brain to associate their absence with your own improvement. As we close this chapter, remember the divine guarantee. What is truly meant for you will never require you to lose yourself just to keep it. If you have to hunt it, it's probably not your blessing, it's your lesson. Stopping the chase isn't an act of giving up. It is an act of profound faith. It is standing still long enough for the universe to catch up to you. When you finally value yourself enough to stop running after those who are walking away, the world has no choice but to mirror that value back to you. You are the prize, the constant, and the creator of your own peace. Trust the law of reversed effort. Let go of the pursuit and watch how quickly the right energy finds its way to your door.